All right, we got Metal Monday on a Monday in Boise. We're back. We're back on track.
Back to the grind.
I think the last two Metal Mondays been on Tuesday. We were just at the Scrap Expo last week, which was awesome. I want to thank you, Jim. Thank you, Recycling Today, for having us. I think it was a great show. I'm excited for next year. Any thoughts on the show, real quick, Brett?
Yeah, man. I think that people might just listen to our podcast or like multiple podcasts and think that all we do is sit around and fucking podcast all day. But like the reality of it is like we are operating real businesses every day, right? So like we do the podcast because we like to, talk to other people in the industry and spread awareness and everything else. But I mean, like both you and I are in the trenches every day that we're not out in Louisville or Chicago shaking hands and kissing babies. Like
we're out walking the yards. We're out buying scrap. We're out seeing our customers, seeing our employees. Like we're doing
I get
it all.
more, I enjoy doing the podcasting and stuff, and it's fun. But I mean, I really what I love is the general operations of our business and like seeing the nuances and stuff. So to answer your original question, like what was my thoughts about the Scrap Expo? I loved it because it was a lot of your small to medium-sized business operators in that southern area, really, and the surrounding the Midwest, that were able to get out and like maybe don't go to the national convention in Vegas or whatever. They were able to get out and kind of like see the equipment move, just like I was, being able to see cars being processed, run the shears, run the material handlers. Like that's been a much needed void that is being filled, and I can only thank Jim Keefe and all his efforts for putting that together and recognizing that like there was a real void there in our industry of getting operators like small and medium size. The disconnect is real, like compared to the big corporate shoulder rubbing that goes on at the Chicago roundtables or the national convention. There needed something for the small medium guys like us.
And it was like you said, it was really nice to see some people I've been talking to on social media that I've never met in person. And some of those guys don't want to go to that national convention. They don't have any interest especially when it's in Vegas for them. Vegas is easy for us.
Yeah.
But for some people on the East Coast, like they're like, I don't want to go to that. They don't see the value.
The value, like I still look at the cost of things, right? Like what does it cost me to go to a show? Like just me. What does it cost me for the flight, the hotel, the meals,
the time? Like it's more expensive than the straight cost.
Yeah, if I go somewhere, like I'll get the value out of it. Like time wise, I'm gonna extrapolate that. I'm gonna make it work for me. But I look at it as like the hard cost of it. Do you get the money? Do you get the return? And if you don't get the return, time aside, like if you can't even recover the cost of the actual like the hard number, then time is like it is what it is. And I think that's how I measure to a certain extent. And then obviously the time, like my kids are playing sports. Your kids and everybody's kids that were traveling with us, and everybody that's out there. That's just you're making a conscious decision. Like, is the time worth it? So, it's kind of a two-part component. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the conversations. I really appreciate like the guys like Alter Trading and Sierra, like some of the big boys in our industry for supporting an event like that. Cinnabogan, supporting an event like that really hones in on the small, medium-sized, operations, and gives them something to really look at.
And Jim told me they had around 800 participants.
I think so,
which is awesome. And then
for a first-year show.
For a first-year show.
Yep.
And I mean, I was told, I don't know how accurate this number is, that ISRI national show is like 4,000 to 5,000. So for a first-year show of that nature, where you're already like getting close to 1,000, that's pretty awesome. So kudos to them. Thanks for the invite, Jim. Thank you, everybody. Now let's talk about the markets. How are all the? Well, you were saying palladium was down this morning, and now we're up.
Yeah, it was like a big turn of events this
Mm-hmm.
morning. It swung the other way, but the stock market and everything, the futures were down.
Yeah.
And then everything looks like it turned green, other than copper.
Copper's still down a couple pennies.
Yeah, but nickel's up. Aluminum is trending like it's sideways-ish to slightly positive. So I don't know. I mean, from my perspective, it's kind of a, we'll see. Home builder sentiment came out this morning and down for the 9th straight month, which I think is starting to put pressure on the economy to where the Fed, they feel like the 75 basis point rate hike is kind of baked in this week. So if that adjusts at all, then that's going to create, a big push or pull in the market.
Mm-hmm.
But, moving forward, maybe if the economy is slowing down enough and the commodities prices are slowing down enough, then maybe there's room for the Fed to slow the pace of rate hikes. And I think maybe that's what people are kind of looking at from a positive standpoint.
I saw that they were working on that railroad strike. Mm-hmm. You see that? I think they made a temporary agreement on that. Mm-hmm. That's got to kind of help the market, I would imagine. I mean, I was trying to figure out like where I thought how that would affect what we do. Because I think
it affects our business, our industry hugely, right?
So I think them putting it together will keep our the prices up.
Yeah, I think it helps. Definitely helps the cause. I mean, I think it would have been really interesting to see the dynamic if you basically take rail out of the equation, even for a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that stops I don't know what the percentage is, but that's a big chunk of transportation to get taken out of the equation, even for a short period of time. The trucking guys would have been okay with it. They would have loved it. There would have been a lot more demand on their end, and things are slowing down on the trucking side too. So, we're still in for some interesting times, I think, but we'll see. I'm still optimistic that this thing sets up down the road to be pretty good.
To come back to some of the markets. Come back.
I think so.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, and we'll see where things go. Ferris, you still thinking sideways or down next month?
Yeah, I don't see a lot of upward momentum pushing into October. But like I said, I'm a $4. I believe copper was going to get to $4. So I'm
now that you bring that up,
yeah,
I think you lost that bet.
I definitely lost that bet. I lost it by fucking 2 quarters.
Yep,
like 50 cents. So.
I think you did. So we'll have to think of another bet. Maybe next week we'll
have to change the dynamic just to betting on sports.
Oh yeah, well, let's change it. Football's back. We're gonna bring Football Friday back, so you can watch our picks and do the opposite, and you'll usually do pretty good.
Exactly.
Well, thank you everybody.
All right, guys.
Have a good week.
Have a great week.